morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at Lucario V. But what's the I hear you yell? Didn't we already do that? Didn't we already look at Lucario V? And the answer is yes. But we looked at it when we had a partial translation and a covered image, and we've now got more information, a little bit of hindsight, and frankly, and I've told you guys this before, I don't like having videos hanging out there where if somebody searches for Lucario V on my channel, the only video they find is one with a partial translation that we're not sure of. Although I do want it on record, kinda nailed what this did. Almost. Now, I should mention our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet here. I'm a big Antoine Boulet fan, and you should be too. And what we see, if we start off with the basics, is 210 HP, which is on the higher end of Pokemon Vs. So that's good. We got a retreat cost of 2, which means we can use Air Balloon for free retreat, so that's quite nice. And we got a weakness to Psychic, which does mean you're weak to Mewtwo and Mew, which incidentally is a very good Pokemon still. But do remember, we've still got Jirachi GX, which removes Psychic weakness, and nowadays is pretty much entirely there to help fighting Pokemon, which I'm not entirely sure was the plan when it was made. But no arguments here. Takes away your weakness. We've then got a fighting Pokemon. And this is really what gets me excited. That is weakness on Eternatus VMAX. That is weakness on Pikachu and Zekrom. On Dedenne, on Crobat. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of really good Pokemon on which you are hitting weakness. This is a very, very good thing here. So, yeah, this is awesome. Now, Diancie Prism Star is rotating, which is actually really upsetting. That was an extra 20 damage for all of your fighting Pokemon. But we're still going to have Martial Arts Dojo that does an extra 40 damage if you're behind on prizes. An extra 10 if you're not behind on prizes. We're still going to have Karate Belt, which reduces your attack cost by 1 fighting energy if you're behind on prizes. And you're still hitting the best weakness in the game, so I'm not terribly upset about that, if I'm honest. Now, in terms of the attacks, we've got one which is slightly underpowered and one which is slightly overpriced, but I think together we might be able to make some sense of it. The first attack for 1 fighting energy does 40 to the active and 20 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Nice! And a lot of you at this stage will probably be going, well, hang on a second, isn't that Buzzwole? Almost. Buzzwole was 30 to the active, 30 to one of the bench, and to be fair, Buzzwole did have Strong Energy as well as Diancie Prism Star. Strong Energy was just an energy that added 20 damage, so what you would essentially be able to do is turn 1, or, 2 if you're going first, because no attacking and all that. Strong Energy, although back then you could attack going first. But anyway, Strong Energy, Diancie, 70 to the active. Here it would be 80 to the active. That would be awesome. We don't have either of those cards. To be fair, we can still do 80 to the active, but we need to use Martial Arts Dojo and we need to be behind on prizes. If you need to be behind on prizes, do remember we've still got Mismagius. KOs itself, gives up a prize, and lets you draw till you got 7 cards in your hand. And we've still got Duskstone here, so you can essentially, on your first turn, use Duskstone to evolve, and then immediately use the ability and get rolling from there. That is something that you are able to do, and that's something I really do think you should just bear in mind here. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. And incidentally, while we're talking numbers, 80 damage is enough to one-hit KO a Dedenne. So yes, I absolutely do think it is worth turn 1 using Mismagius, giving up a prize to take 2 prizes off of Dedenne. Then you're still 1 prize up, but you're also better positioned because you've been able to use Mismagius, draw extra cards, etc. Make no mistake about it, there is so much to love about Lucario here. I'll be honest with you, right? I'm a fan of this first attack. And I don't think this first attack is going to take out that much stuff. I mean, even against like an Eternatus V, Eternatus V, you're rocking 200 HP, 220 HP. So you need to do 110 damage straight off the bat. Well, you're not getting up to 110 here, which is annoying because with Diancie you totally would. 40 with Martial Arts Dojo puts you up to 80, 20 with Diancie Prism Star puts you up to 100, Vitality Band puts you up to 110, and then you would be able to get a turn 1 KO on an Eternatus V, which of course would be even better, because the bonus about a turn 1 KO on an Eternatus V is that you might have taken out an energy, which would be cool, but you've taken out a Pokemon which could evolve into an Eternatus V Max. Which means all of a sudden it is less likely that your opponent is actually getting that early V Max, which can then start smashing and taking prizes. That would be cool. Unfortunately, that's not an option that we've got, which is like genuinely, legitimately upsetting to me, but there's nothing we can do about it, so I should probably, dry my eyes and move on with my life. But I lament it as a missed opportunity. Although Japan will have that option for a little while. What this is really here for is just to spread some damage around in the early game. It's why I think we do need Martial Arts Dojo and why we do need Vitality Band here. With both of them, you're still doing 60 to the active. That will get a whole bunch of evolving Pokemon. It won't get Jirachi though, and I do expect Jirachi to remain very, very good. Nor will it get Jirachi Amazing Rare, because it's also only got 70 HP, but 70 is enough. And I do think that with Diancie gone, this attack is slightly underpowered. Because realistically speaking, unless you go down on prizes, you are hitting 60 damage here. And I really want to be hitting 70. Because yes, 60 will get a bunch of evolving Pokemon, but there's still a bunch of evolving Pokemon that have 70. If this did 50, or we still had Diancie in the format, I would like it so much better. But you're still hitting a great weakness. As a side note, if you want to get Crobat, you will need to have Vitality Band in addition to Martial Arts Dojo, because 80 double for weakness is 160, which won't get it, but 90 double for weakness is 180, which will. And don't forget you're doing the bench damage as well. Over time, that will add up. There's a reason that Buzzwole was good, and there's a reason why Manectric that did 20 to the active and 20 to the bench was good. This is that. And there's an awful lot of times you're never going to get that second attack off because you are just using this to take some cheeky prizes and spread damage in the early game. But there is a second attack here. Free energy, 180 damage, but you can't use it next turn. Okay. It's too expensive, frankly. If you're playing Colossal, it's not too expensive. Colossal lets you accelerate a fighting and a fire energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon, or to any of your Pokemon in whichever way you like. And then you've paid the fighting, you've paid the colorless, and you just need to attach for the turn and then you're rolling. In a Colossal deck, this is actually really nice. And 180 will get anything even up to and including an Eternatus V Max. Yay! And to be fair, in this regard, if we compare it to the other options, it's probably better. Stonjourner V does 150 for free fighting energy, so you can't even really use Colossal there. And it doesn't actually do enough. We could look at Sandaconda, which does actually do 220 for the same attack cost. And not for nothing, but it's got higher HP. And that will actually get up to KOing a Zacian, for instance. That will get a straight KO on a Zacian. But you do have to discard 2 energy from it. But then again, in a Colossal deck, you'll be able to reattach those energy. So actually, for the big attack, Sandaconda is better in a Colossal deck. Then again, first attack, 30 damage and attach a fighting energy to it is not as good as 40 to the active, 20 to the bench. So Lucario ends up existing in this weird situation where it is better than Stonjourner, and it is slightly better than Sandaconda. In terms of Regirock here, which is the other fighting Pokemon V, I mean, I'm a Regirock fanboy, so I want to love Regirock here. I want to play him. And to be fair, in a Colossal deck, you're doing 190 rather than 180 with a second attack. But then you got to do 30 damage to yourself. But then you do have a really nice Outrage attack, 30 damage plus as much damage as is on it for 2 energy. But then again, it's you'd still lose in that first attack. And that's what I think saves Lucario. I think if you just want to use a second attack, you're probably better off with Regirock or Sandaconda. But I think that first attack is why you play it. And I think there are going to be some cheeky lists that play Mismagius, go down on prizes and start hitting 90 to the active, 20 to the bench from turn 1. And I think there is going to be some potential going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I did think this did 190. It actually does 180. I apologise for being slightly wrong about that. Otherwise, we were pretty much right about what it did. I just don't know how much I love it. I do think it's fun, and I do think that fighting a Pokemon we're going to need right now. By the way, when talking about fighting Pokemon, no, I didn't mention Phalanx. Phalanx is not a tech Pokemon, alright? Phalanx is a very, very specific Pokemon that fits in a very specific deck and nothing else. I love him, but let's be clear, you're playing that for a very specific reason. As for Lucario, there is potential. We need fighting Pokemon. It is definitely worth a test. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.